We saw Big Ben in that walking boot after his game. How do you handle the rest of the Steelers' offense in terms of Big Ben's injury?
Unless he's forced to sit out practice today and again on Friday. I know he didn't go on Wednesday, which isn't really that big of a surprise. I don't think I'm going to make any adjustments based on the injury, but I continue to worry about Ben's production away from Heinz Field. His road splits are ghastly. I think the only thing that's kind of a saving grace with the supporting cast in Pittsburgh is the production is so heavily concentrated on Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. The carry volume and the touch volume for Bell, the target volume and catch volume for Brown. It's so extreme compared to a lot of the other top players at those positions that you could still push those players into your lineups even when you're expecting a lesser game from Ben. It just becomes more risky because the offense as a whole is more susceptible to sputtering. If you look at the implied point total this week for the Steelers, they're right around 21. You know, they're 1.5 point underdogs on the road, but it's a relatively low-scoring game with an over-under of 44. So I think my concerns about Bell and Brown are more pertaining to their individual prices than they are about the health of Roethlisberger. And I think, again, it comes down to the road performance just generally not being very good from Roethlisberger over these last 3 seasons now.
What are your thoughts on Alex Smith? Derek, he's 261.8 passing yards. That's his average over 5 postseason games, 11 touchdowns, and just 1 interception.
You know, I think he's kind of like a Dak Prescott type player for this weekend. When you look at where those guys are both priced, Smith's cheaper. He's 5,400. Dak's 6,000 by comparison. I think they're going to be asked to do similar things where they will have to throw the ball in the third and long situations. Both players have interesting weapons. I think in terms of GPPs, they both become viable. I mean, I like Alex Smith. If you want to have a lineup where you have Ezekiel Elliott and Julio Jones or Ezekiel Elliott and Antonio Brown or some combination of really expensive running backs and receivers, going with a cheap quarterback can make some sense strategically. I would only do it in tournaments. I would not do it in cash. I don't think the Pittsburgh defense is one to fear, and certainly with the Chiefs being at home, I'm more comfortable taking that risk in this matchup arranged this way than I would be if it were the opposite.